Now she's laying down. No more collar. She has not snarled at all. Um, and I'm just going to work on her. She got her nails done and her pads trimmed. She is very relaxed. You see, she's just laying down. And since she's calmed herself, actually, she really wasn't nervous. She just was just ready for. Um, I think ready to have to fight or something. I don't know. That may be something that she's been used to in grooming, or getting strapped up and all that kind of stuff is not anything anyone would want. You wouldn't want it when you go to the hairdresser or to the barber. You wouldn't want somebody putting a noose around your neck and making you feel like you're supposed to cooperate because of it. So she's just laying down. I've brushed her face, and she likes my singing. Okay, I don't know if she likes it. She just didn't head for the hills. That's all I'm gonna say. So we're gonna complete the rest of the groom. She's getting the schnauzer clip, so she gets the top of her head shaved, and you can see she's not at all hostile. She's not at all frightened, um, and it helps that I don't carry that kind of fear with me over dogs anyway. Um, so she senses it. Uh, I'm relaxed, I'm calm, and there's no chaos here. It just doesn't exist. Every dog is not made for a groom shop. They just aren't. And groom shops aren't bad places. They just have to work the way they have to work. And that works fine for some dogs and doesn't work fine for others. So mobile grooming is very specialized because we do work one at a time. Um, Earlier, her 14-year-old sibling was in to get nails clipped. Um, and sometimes I have more than one dog at a time from the same family. And and that helps them relax too. I don't know if it helps them relax. They're just like, haha, you got to get it done too. So they're not alone. But I don't mix dogs from one family or another unless, they're like pals, and they're coming together because their owners know each other. That kind of thing is okay. That's just fine. But we don't mix it up. We don't mix it up. Let you have your private groomer time. But everybody needs their groomer time. Yeah, they do. And I also teach grooming, and the method that I use without the noose and everything is what I teach. Um, You're very disappointed when my students pick up that noose and start using it after they're in their careers, because it's just not necessary. But sometimes you work in a place where they insist that you use it. So the concept is not universal at this time. It's not even close. But pet owners can make it universal by insisting, don't put anything on my dog's neck. That's something you have every right to insist on. And they'll either comply or they'll tell you you need to find somebody else. And that's okay. If you don't feel comfortable with it, you don't feel comfortable with your dog being at a groomer all day long, then I highly recommend an alternative like mobile grooming. And yes, of course, mobile grooming costs more money. It has to cost more money. In a shop I can groom $15, 15 dogs a day. On my mobile, I can groom 5, maybe 6, if a couple are from the same household. And the most I've done are groups of multiple uh, families of dogs. So I'm just in one place, and that was 11, but I didn't get done until 11 at night. So we have to charge what we charge in order to stay in business, and that's just the way it goes. And for those that like comparing what we do to how much you pay for your hairdresser, the day your hairdresser does this and a manicure, checks your anal glands, gets the snot out your eyeballs, then you tell me I charge too much. And we have to work with the dogs because they don't understand what we're doing or the importance of it. You walk into your hairdresser wanting the service. They don't. Okay, I have some cuckoo dogs that do. I do. But that's only after they've been with me for a few times and they realize I'm just not that serious. It's a haircut. We'll just get over it. We'll get through it. She's doing beautifully. Her parents have been out in their vehicle this whole time because they've been really, really worried that I was going to get bit. And that was their main concern because she does have a history. Callie has a history. So you have to respect that. They thought I might want the sedation medication that the vets have given her, but I don't like to do that. I like the dog to tell me what the issue is. If you tell me what the issue is, I can develop a way to groom you so that the issue doesn't come up. And her thing is she doesn't like her body manipulated and turned around. She doesn't trust. So the secret to grooming Callie is to gain her trust. And then you can turn her body. And and then my job is easier and her time with me is easier. And it's all good. Because that's what it's about. And I make these videos specifically for owners of dogs like Callie who know their dog has a history. And I just don't want them to think because I close the door. I always close the door when it's a new dog. Or winter time we'll get you to close that door too. But I don't want them to think that I'm lying to them. A lot of people lie and tell you, your dog has no issues, and then you go somewhere else and they're like, they tried to kill me, what's wrong with your dog? You know, because when you have a problem, when you have an issue with your dog and grooming, you do want somebody that's going to address it with you and work out those issues. If possible, you know. It might not be possible. You don't know. But at least if they're willing to examine what's going on, then it gives you something to work with and something to assess. She's not a psychotic dog. I started out my career specializing in psychotic dogs because I worked for a vet and he had a groom shop in another county, and he got the dogs of people whose groomers had told them that dog needs to be sedated. So he was nuts enough, and he knew that me and the groomer that I worked for, he knew we were nuts enough to try it and see if we could get something done that other people couldn't get done. Most times, 9 times out of 10, that's exactly what happened. We did. But they were psychotic. Many of them were psychotic. And when it comes to psychosis, they're not realizing, they don't see what everybody else sees. They're not looking through reasonable eyes. So you just would have to figure out what to do and how to do it. I used to groom a sheepdog named Kim, and anybody else would have just sedated Kim. Kim was real happy to see. She'd wag her whole butt and everything. But the problem with Kim was eye contact. She was so nervous that not nervous, anxious to see you. And she really liked people, and so she was so anxious to see you, but she did not have the correct response. That is a psychosis. That is having a perception of something uh, and not knowing how to execute the proper response. So Kim would try to. Uh, we always said she'd go for your jugular, because that's exactly what it looked like. If you looked her in the eye, like you can let Kim get excited and everything, but if you looked Kim in the eye, it was over. She was going for your neck. So did we sedate her? No, we just didn't look in her eyes. And we had another one that, let me see, baby girl. We had another one that, I know I felt it. There it is. I felt it. I knew I felt it. That you couldn't look him in the eyes. But honestly, he was going to go after you regardless. That, and you remember these dogs. You remember them more than you remember the sweet ones. That was Terry Cotton. I'll always remember him. That was over 30 years ago. That was like 36 or 35 years ago. And I don't know if you noticed, but she had mats in her